In recent days, the world has seen a dramatic and deadly surge in violence across the Middle East. This is no longer about political tensions or fiery rhetoric in global media. It has now turned into a direct and open military confrontation between two major powers, Iran and Israel. The Israeli strikes, June 16th to 17, 2025. On the night between June 16th and 17, Israel launched a wave of heavy airstrikes targeting key Iranian cities, claiming they aimed at military sites and Revolutionary Guard command centers. However, the reality on the ground showed that Israeli missiles also struck public media offices and hospitals, resulting in civilian deaths. To many analysts, this assault signals that Israel is again prepared to endanger civilian lives in pursuit of its broader military objectives. Questions of justification and global concern. Voices from around the world are raising critical questions. Does Israel's reasoning still hold weight, or is it now steering the entire region toward catastrophic collapse? Iran strikes back. Iran responded swiftly. In retaliation, it launched ballistic missiles and drone attacks. Since then, both nations have made it clear this confrontation is far from over. The pressing question now is this merely another brief chapter in the ongoing rivalry between the two countries, or the beginning of a full-scale regional war that could pull in global superpowers and once again make the Middle East the center of global crisis? Civilian damage in Iran. On the night between June 16th and 17, Israel carried out intense air raids on Tehran, Esfahan, and Kermanshah. While Israeli officials stated that military installations were the main targets, evidence pointed to widespread destruction in civilian districts. One of the missiles struck the Arab studio during a live news broadcast. 2 journalists were killed in Kermanshah. A civilian hospital also suffered an explosion. Among the victims were Red Cross personnel. Amnesty International warned that such actions could amount to violations of international humanitarian law. For many Iranians, this wasn't just a war between states, but an assault on the very fabric of their everyday lives. Iran's retaliation, Operation True Promise 3. In swift response to the Israeli strikes, Iran initiated a counterattack named Operation True Promise 3. It involved the launch of hundreds of ballistic missiles and kamikaze drones aimed at multiple Israeli locations, including Haifa, Glilo, and Tel Aviv. Key objectives of the assault included oil processing plants, military airfields, intelligence centers, and air defense installations. Cracks in the shield. Iron Dome overwhelmed. Israel's Iron Dome and other defense systems failed to block the full scale of the assault. Several missiles evaded early detection and struck critical targets without prior warning. In Haifa, a massive blaze erupted at a fuel refinery and gas storage site, burning intensely for over 6 hours before being brought under control. 3 employees lost their lives and significant fuel reserves were destroyed. Another missile landed near Tel Aviv, hitting a military storage facility and triggering secondary blasts from stockpiled ammunition. The resulting shockwaves shattered windows in nearby apartments, sparking public panic. The blast in Glilot's industrial zone demonstrated that even the base of Israel's top intelligence unit, Unit 8200, is vulnerable. Satellite photos revealed damaged hangars and communication towers. Though the Israeli government has not confirmed the authenticity, the images have spread widely on social media platforms. Iran's message, a calculated strike. Iran clarified that the assault was just a warning, not an all-out offensive. Yet the strike exposed vulnerabilities in Israel's air defense systems, long believed to be nearly unbreachable. The consequences triggered a ripple effect, instilling fear, chaos, and significant economic disturbance within Israel. Ben Gurion Airport was briefly shut down. Global flight schedules faced interruptions. Several high-tech firms paused their operations. Ordinary Israelis now face extreme psychological pressure. Many have evacuated to the southern region. Cyber strikes and drone infiltration. In a surprising move, Iran's kamikaze drones penetrated an industrial zone in Israel's advanced tech hub. While the full scale of the damage remains unknown, the strike delivered a strong signal. Even Silicon Wadi lies within Iran's sights. Experts describe the assault as a show of precision, a calculated military effort that blended cyber intrusions, missile fire, and electronic interference to overwhelm Israeli defenses. The global community now observes as one of the world's most advanced militaries, faces a shifting battleground, an adversary skilled in synchronized high-tech disruption and deep infiltration. Civilian suffering on both fronts. Across Iran, tens of thousands have evacuated from key cities. Electricity outages are widespread. Hospitals are operating beyond capacity. Meanwhile, in various regions of Israel, communication systems have broken down. Even with layered defense networks, civilians remain gripped by fear, with many forced to seek refuge in underground shelters. Proxy forces and expanding flashpoints. The conflict risks spilling beyond just Israel and Iran. Hezbollah in Lebanon has warned of launching a second front. Shiite armed groups in Iraq and Syria are poised to retaliate should Iran face additional strikes. Across the Strait of Hormuz, Iran could opt to shut down the crucial waterway. If the US becomes directly involved, a step that could shake global oil markets and spark a wider regional downturn. Growing military presence and diplomatic limits. US and NATO naval forces are steadily increasing in the region. Should their bases come under attack, direct military engagement would be unavoidable. At the same time, Turkey and Saudi Arabia are trying to mediate, though their delicate political standing restricts their ability to act effectively. If tensions keep rising, the mounting pressure and shifting alliances could divide the Middle East into two rival camps. Risk of widening global conflict. The outbreak of violence on June 16, 2025, has ushered in a new and perilous phase for the Middle East. Both nations are seeing mounting civilian deaths. Critical infrastructure has been destroyed. Economies are stumbling, and regional security is deteriorating rapidly. Without an urgent ceasefire, this conflict could soon involve major powers like the United States, Russia, and Europe. Clash of narratives and military tech. This is no longer simply a dispute between two nations. It has evolved into a struggle over narratives, a showcase of advanced warfare, and a challenge to international diplomacy. If global powers fail to act with foresight, the conflict could extend to the Red Sea, Persian Gulf, and possibly Eastern Europe. A fragile boundary between regional and global war. The global community now stands at a critical crossroads. Will it act to bring peace or simply watch as the conflict expands? One fact remains clear. If this war isn't halted right away, the boundary separating a regional clash from a global war will shrink to a fragile thread. And if that thread snaps, its shockwaves will reach us all.